Good evening. In the news for tonight. The Cabinet approves an amendment of the vehicle registration, licensing and market fees for the year 2024. The Lower House Financial Committee discusses the 2025 General Budget Law with the government's economic team. And a UN report condemns Israeli attacks on hospitals in Gaza, saying they devastated the Palestinian enclave's health system. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. The Cabinet approved in a session today the amendments of the Vehicle Registration, Licensing and Market Fees Law for the year 2024. The amendment stipulates that vehicles will be licensed based on their price before customs duties rather than engine capacity. It will apply to private vehicles that will be licensed for the first time after January the 1st, 2025. The Cabinet also approved new mechanisms for calculating the special tax on electric vehicles, which adopts a gradual approach for implementation over a period of 3 years, from 2025 to 2027. The Lower House Executive Office held its first meeting chaired by Speaker Ahmed Al-Safadi with the attendance of members of the Permanent Office and representatives from all parliamentary blocs. The meeting discussed a number of organizational issues related to work procedures for the upcoming period, including the discussions of MPs on the general budget. According to Article 19 of the House's bylaw, the Executive Office is responsible for preparing the Chamber's annual budget, monitoring its financial expenditures, and coordinating the work of the permanent committees. The Lower House Finance Committee met with the government economic team in the presence of State Minister for Economic Affairs, Muhannad Ishhadeh. MP Nimir Aslihat, who chaired the meeting, asked the government's team to update the committee on the progress of implementing the economic modernization vision and its allocations for the year 2025. He also requested information on decisions taken by the government and their impact on stimulating economic sectors. For his part, the State Minister said more than 41 government decisions had been made to stimulate the economic sectors. He explained that the economic modernization vision is based on 3 main pillars that include economic growth, quality of life, and sustainability. The International Committee of the Red Cross said repeated hostilities in and around hospitals have obliterated the healthcare system in northern Gaza, putting civilians at an unacceptably grave risk of going without life-saving care. The committee called for the respect and protection of medical facilities in line with international humanitarian law. Meanwhile, a UN Human Rights Office report condemned Israeli attacks on hospitals in Gaza, saying they had devastated the Palestinian enclave's health system and raised serious concerns about Israel's compliance with international law. The report said deliberately directing attacks against hospitals and places where the sick and wounded are, provided there are not military objectives, would be war crimes. Yemen's Houthi rebels said they had fired 2 missiles at Israel hours after the Israeli military said it had intercepted a projectile launched from the country. A Houthi military statement said the first attack targeted Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, and the second was fired at a power station south of Jerusalem. The rebels also said they had attacked the American aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman, but there was no immediate comment from the U.S. military. And that concludes today's top stories. As we step into 2025, we'll continue to bring you the latest updates. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you a joyful and prosperous new year. Good night.